I used to feel super exhausted of trying to pretend and to be like on my best behavior, having my guards up so that people wouldn't see all of my faults and all of the mistakes, trying to do my best not to make as many so that they wouldn't judge me, because it felt so deeply hurtful and I felt misunderstood. Yeah. And so let's unpack it, how we even got here, because this is really the first thing I want you to understand. It's not your fault. And we are not going to throw the blame on anybody else. We are not here to point the fingers, but you need to understand it's not your fault and there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. And what do I mean by that? My personal story, and see how you, to what level you resonate with that. For me, I started, no child is born that way, but very early on, I started becoming very shy, quiet, very obedient girl. And if you attended any of my free mommy tantrum trainings, then you know why. If you don't know, sign up for the training so that I explain you all of it. I'm going to skip through the why explanation here for the sake of getting further with our lives, yeah? But I started as super shy, super quiet, low self-confidence, mommy's little helper, walking on eggshells, because I could feel it when she was having too many emotions, too much stress, not enough time. So it was better to lay low, better not to do anything that would make her even more upset. So that's what I was. And funnily enough, the first time I remember, it made me feel not good enough, because until then I thought, well, I'm exactly doing what my mom wants me to do, right? So it's good to be a quiet little good girl, doing everything as I'm told the first time I'm asked, because like that's what gave me at least some, like that's what protected me from a lot of unleashes that then went over to my brother, right? Because he refused to be the good boy. But the first time I remember, and I don't have like a vivid, like visual memory of it, but I remember feeling that way, was when I heard my mom talk to, I think it was like a family, it was my aunt. And she was telling her that she's not worried about my brother getting his way in his life, like being okay in life, because he's assertive and he can get what he wants. So it's like he can take care of himself. So she was saying like, yeah, like my son, he's fine, but I'm worried about my daughter, because wherever I leave her, that's where she stays. She doesn't have any, in Czech we say like she doesn't have any elbows, like you cannot push your way through the crowd. And so she criticized that in a way, she judged it. So she's like, she's a very nice girl, but I'm worried what will become with her, like what will become of her in her life, how she will be able to get through her life, because she's too much in herself and she doesn't have enough of this like energy to be resilient in life. And when I heard that, I was like, what the heck? What the heck? So me trying to be here, mom, of course I didn't tell her anything, but it made me deeply hurt inside. And I thought, how do you dare? Like, is this wrong? I thought that's what you wanted. I'm doing my 1000 perfect best so that I make you happy. And then you tell somebody else, not even me, but I overhear you, because you know how kids, they always hear what you don't want them to hear. You think they are not around, they don't hear you. I heard that. That was not a conversation I was officially part of. But I overheard that. And I was like, so who should I supposed to be then? Like my brother, he's the one who gets yelled at the most because he's misbehaving, he's not doing things. But now he's praising him to this person, and it's like, but so what is right here? Because I was trying to figure that out. I remember as I was so young, I was trying to figure this out. What is the right thing? Just tell me what the right thing is so that I can do it and I make you happy and we are good. And you don't get upset with me. And so I thought I nailed it. I thought I was doing so well. I was so proud of myself because I was doing my absolute best. And now I hear like, what? She's not proud of me? What, like, how do I do it then? So if you have any like first memories of you feeling judged by your parents when you thought you were doing your absolute best and you deserved nothing but praise and love and everything, and somehow by coincidence you found out that that was not good enough, let me send you a big hug. And it's okay. We are not, and just like a timeout, we are not here to do a victim party, like a sobbing, sad story, okay? I am going there somewhere with this, but you need to understand, and exactly as I explained it in Mommy Tantrum training, that this is part of your childhood trauma. Because trauma is not just the shock. My parents didn't abuse me. They didn't beat me up. I didn't starve. I was not kicked out of the house. Nobody died when I was way too young. Like, I had no shock trauma. But what I just described here is a classic developmental trauma, death by 1,000 paper cuts. Every day, little by little, there are little coincidences when your parents made you feel you were not good enough. This is not okay. You're not okay. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should change because I don't accept this. And unless you fulfill conditions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,000, then you are not good enough, my child. And I'm not going to give you a hug. I'm not going to smile. And I'm going to tell you I love you. Okay, that's developmental childhood trauma. Okay, and what I just shared is an example of it. So if that stirred up any memories in you, and if you brought up some memory that if you would tell that to your friend, they would be like, what? You're such a snowflake, and what are you complaining about? She didn't even yell at you, like, what the heck? Like, everybody goes through this when they are little. No, what are you complaining? I'm not complaining about anything. I'm just explaining, because if you went through something similar, then you need to know, first step is awareness. You need to understand this was not okay, it was not your fault, and it is a childhood trauma that needs to be healed, okay?